Another basic tool, if I were to pick one tool that I really wanted to be efficient and proficient in, it's the cause and effect. It looks pretty simple. It's also called the fishbone or Ishikawa or 5 whys or 9 whys. This, if you were to work on something, really work on it. And this requires linear thinking, a lot of discipline. And as I was just saying, as you see on it looks like the head of a fish, it's kind of the undesirable effect. Problem is our customer sat isn't where it needs to be. Our employee engagement isn't where it needs to be. Our service cycle time isn't where it needs to be. And we're figuring out the bones, we're saying, okay, what is it about the leader that causes that undesirable effect? What is it about our process that causes that undesirable effect? What is it about our market? Really getting disciplined. But the thing I want to leave you with is we think as we should logically. But you've got to be open. Remember I said openness to creativity? If you really do this in a linear fashion, it will take you to places that you might not be comfortable with. Because if you're coming to the table and embedding lack of what I already know is the solution, if you say lack of training, what do you think the solution is of lack of training? Training. Well, it might not be the cause. But if you put lack of training, of course you're going to come with training. It didn't bring you to the root cause. I'm going to just share a quick story. I was in the expo, saw my FPL peeps, transmission team. I'm going to share a transmission story. It goes back to the beginning of our journey in 1985, but it's a classic example of getting to an illogical root cause. Transmission power line was interrupting 8 o'clock in the morning. Big line, the 500 line across the Florida Everglades. When that goes down, lots of customers are out. So logically, think back, this is back in the 80s, so very different than today. But it still applies today. It applies to our thinking. Logic was, well, it's probably lightning. Well, you know, from a probabilistic perspective, it probably is, because 60% of interruptions is attributed to lightning. So if I was a gambling person, I'd go with the odds, 60% lightning. Wasn't the cause. Well, you might think, well, 8 o'clock in the morning, the demand, people are, hair dryers and ovens and whatever are going on, creating demand, dropping the line. Logical, not the cause. Maybe it was the salt spray. Did you hear the crackling of the lines with high humidity and salt? Could be, but this is in the Everglades, too far west from the coast. Could be a shift change, 8 o'clock in the morning from the power plant. Very logical. So we think logically. When we're here, we're thinking logically. We've got to allow this to work for our favor to get to the root cause. The root cause, many of you may be familiar with it. I shared it with you in 2002. But the root cause to this was the red-tailed hawk. Now, that wasn't in the first pass because we did lightning, demand, shift change. Now, red-tailed hawk, how's that the cause to a big old transmission line interruption? Well, the red-tailed hawk apparently is on this massive fiber diet. And in the morning, with regularity our grandparents would enjoy, take care of themselves. I'm not talking like a little dabble do ya that you wipe off your windshield with a tissue. I'm talking a frightening stream, a 20-footer that literally would fault line to line, or just cover the insulator, faulting it. Now, guys from FBI, I think some of you were there, but I remember being there. Who would go to the executives and say, we got a bird poop problem? Didn't have the guts because it wasn't in our logical, it was not in our logical thinking, and yet it was the root cause. Ever since that, opened our paradigm of thinking. So I encourage you not necessarily to find the bird poop, but I encourage you to be disciplined with the cause and effect as a tool that will help you.